Morning, this is Susan and this is Susan's Ramblings. Today I have some recipes. Some of them are different, but I don't know say different. They're recipes that will save you money and time in the future, if not now. And in no particular order, I just put them as they come. Farmer's cheese, 8 cups of whole milk, 1/4 cup of white vinegar or lemon juice. Heat the milk until almost boiling and has frothy bubbles. Turn off the heat, stir in the vinegar or lemon juice, stir, let it set for 15 minutes. Add chopped chives or dill if desired. Place cheesecloth over a colander, pour cheese mixture into the cheesecloth, drain the whey and squeeze the cheese to remove the last of the whey. Save the whey for other purposes such as bread making and drinking. Add 2 teaspoons of salt if desired. Squeeze into a ball in a colander with the cheesecloth. Chill in the refrigerator. Note, you can hang the cheese in a cheesecloth to remove the whey. Whatever it's called. Pixie dressing. 1/2 cup of oil, 1/2 cup of ketchup, 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, 1/2 cup of sugar, 1/4 cup of vinegar, 2 teaspoons of mustard, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of pepper. Combine all the ingredients, mix thoroughly, store in a covered jar in the refrigerator. Italian dressing. 1 tablespoon of garlic minced, 2 tablespoons of red onion minced, 1/2 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil, 2 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of honey, 1/2 teacup of olive oil, 1/2 cup of white wine vinegar. Put all ingredients in a mason jar, cover tightly, shake vigorously until all the ingredients are combined. Store in the refrigerator. I got a note there saying I used a blender. Much easier, much faster. Next one. Creamy farmhouse dressing. 1/2 cup of mayonnaise, 1/3 cup of sour cream, 3 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, 2 to 3 tablespoons of milk, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. Combine all ingredients, mix thoroughly, store in an air-covered jar in the refrigerator. Chicken gravy mix. Yes, you can make your own chicken gravy mix. 1 and 1/2 cups of powdered milk, 3/4 cups of flour, 3 tablespoons of chicken bouillon granules or 1 bouillon cube crushed, 1 teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Combine all your ingredients, mix well, store in an airtight container. And to use 2 tablespoons of butter, 1 cup of cold water, 1/2 cup of gravy mix. Melt your butter in a saucepan, add gravy mix and water, mix well, stir constantly until the gravy is smooth and thickened to desired consistency. And I have a note there down at the bottom say, for poultry seasoning, use 1/2 teaspoon of sage, 1/4 teaspoon of thyme, and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. And here comes my own poultry seasoning thing. Recipe. 2 tablespoons of dried parsley, 2 tablespoons of dried thyme, 2 tablespoons of dried sage, 1 tablespoon of marjoram, 1 teaspoon of celery salt, 1 tablespoon of celery salt, 1 tablespoon of diced dried rosemary, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg. Combine all ingredients, mix thoroughly, store in an airtight container. This recipe can be used for any recipe that calls for poultry seasoning. Canadian War cake. 2 cups of brown sugar, 2 cups of hot water, 4 tablespoons of lard, 1 cup of raisins, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of cloves, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Boil all the above ingredients for 5 minutes. Cool. Add 3 cups of flour. Place 2 teaspoons of soda in a small amount of hot water. Stir to dissolve soda. Add to the cake. Bake at 300 degrees for 40 minutes or until test done. Canadian whole cake. Tartar sauce. 1 cup of mayo. 1 cup of dried white onion. 1/4 cup of dried white onion. 1/4 cup of dill pickle relish. 1 to 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Sea salt to taste and pepper to taste. Combine all ingredients and mix thoroughly. Store in an airtight container in the refrigerator. Chocolate bites. 1 cup of milk chocolate chips. 1/2 cup of milk. 1 cup of peanut butter. It's 1/4 cup of milk. 1 cup of peanut butter. 2 1/2 cups of quick oats. 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Melt your chocolate chips in the microwave at 50% power for 1 minute. Remove from the microwave and stir. Repeat until the chips are melted. Add milk, peanut butter, and vanilla. Mix thoroughly. Add the oats to the mix and mix well. Make a large marble size ball using your hands. Place on wax paper or parchment paper. Allow to dry. When dried, they should be solid and not sticky. Store in an airtight container. Got a note here? These are good for energy bites. And one more. Fajita seasoning mix. 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, which is optional, 1 teaspoon of paprika, 1 teaspoon of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of onion powder, 1 teaspoon of chicken bouillon granules, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. It's to taste. Combine all ingredients. Mix well. Store in an airtight container. And to use 2 tablespoons equal 1 packet of seasoning mix. Have a great day. God bless.